Good morning. Dignitaries on the Dr. Kesava Rao, Vice-Chancellor, Road Grade, Dr. Principal, Dr. Rao, all teachers, participants, students. I have been long association with modern education society. I have been visiting several colleges many times. Dr. Ikote has made a tremendous contribution at Professor level at the University where he has been my colleague and academic council, senate and many other bodies. So I am very happy to be here this morning. Now you know that this national education policy, now we are planning to implement it. It has been there for many years. And as I remember when I was Vice-Chancellor, there were many discussions at various levels and many suggestions were gathered before the draft was presented. And in 2020 it was accepted and now it is ready for implementation. Now there are many aspects of this policy. Some are social aspects, some are financial aspects, some are administration aspects. But the main crux of this policy is the academics. And academics is the one which we are concerned with. So I would urge teachers to first understand what the role teacher has to play in implementation of this policy. Because many times we neglect this and then we start discussing about what will happen to social divide, digital divide, economic divide, and that kind. Of course, they are important aspects, but they will be taken care by other people. So let us concentrate on the part which directly concerns us, and that is the academical part. So I will be mostly talking about the academic aspects of this policy. Now, why do you need a policy? That is the first question. This is because education is a dynamic process. It keeps on changing. It has to change. Because societal needs also keep on changing. Whatever needs we had earlier, now they are not there. So we have to educate our graduates in such a way that they will be able to face the challenges in coming time or 21st century. Now law is a very important subject. And law concerns all aspects of our life. There is nothing, which cannot be governed or which is not governed by law. And that is why it is very important for law teachers to understand this policy and find out what are the changes required in the present system. Because in this particular policy, there are many things which are in place. And one of the things which is placed is multidisciplinary aspect of education. And when we say this, naturally we will have to incorporate subjects from other disciplines in your course. So if it is a 5-year course, we have 200 credits we have to give to the students. And out of that, at least 12 to 15 credits are to be multidisciplinary teachers. That we have to understand. Now, when this policy comes, there are many policies, you know that right from 1854, if you go back in British times, the first was Goods Dispatch, which actually resulted in establishing 3 universities in India, at Kalkar, Mumbai and Chennai. So since then there were many commissions, Savitribai Commission was there, Adhav Commission was there, after independence we have Kothari Commission, which was very important. Then Sunita Commission has come, and now Kalkar. Now, how do they work? First, they try to find out what are the lacunae in the present system. So that is the first step. So what are the lacunae which they have found? Some of the lacunae I can mention. It is thought that there is no common thread from pre-primary to post-graduate education. Since we are actually considering this education in a modular form, separately. So higher education is different, high school education is different, primary education. So this commission says this is not proper. there has to be a common thread. So that is the first area. Then there is no freedom for teachers. Now, like if we are affiliated to Pune University, we have to follow the syllabus which has been designed by the university. We hardly had any opportunity to change it, add or subtract. There is some latitude given, but it's very meager. So there is no freedom. No freedom for the institution also. If you want to start a new course, again you have to go to university, go to academic council, get it approved, takes long time, by the time the relevance of that is gone. So that is another restriction in this area. Skill and vocational bias is missing. Like in law, training they actually incorporate moot court and those kind of things, but they have to be increased. So skill and vocational is missing. We should encourage students to take direct part or participation in the legal processes which are happening out there or in the court. So that is expected. They have to cultivate leadership. And right now, teacher thinks that he or she has to only teach, and no other responsibility actually is meant for him or her. So this policy says no. The teacher has to be academician, administrator, resource generator, innovator. So many other aspects we have to take into consideration. And keeping this in mind, the suggestions have been made in this particular policy. So Commission has come with many suggestions. So what are those suggestions? That we will see in short. There is one difference between earlier commissions and this commission. And that difference is that this commission says we have to revamp all aspects of education, including the framework of teaching learning. Because we had a teaching learning framework which is very rigid, or it is concerned with only talk and class, nothing beyond that. So this commission says that you have to go beyond that. You have to disrupt this. This is called disruptive innovation. That is what it is called. So disrupt the present system and build a new one. So that is the major difference between earlier commissions and this commission. So revamping all aspects of education, that is the tagline you can say. What does it involve? It involves teaching learning method. And so we have to incorporate many other aspects in teaching learning and evaluation also. Because we have a set evaluation pattern, writing to examinations, internal and term, and that is how we will judge or evaluate the students. Now this commission says that this is not enough. We have to adopt many other processes which are there, like seminar is there, homework is there, or project is there, or discussion is there, debate is there, so many other aspects of the way you can evaluate the students. And it has to be a continuous evaluation. Because in the present system what happens? A student who doesn't understand anything about the subject writes beautifully in the final examination. Whereas the student who understands is not able to write. So when we evaluate this, then we find that there is a disparity. This is not the way of evaluation. This is the wrong way of evaluation. So we have to overcome that, and that is the teaching. So for that, we have to change our mindset. So changing mindset of teacher is very important. Because any new things coming, and if you have to want to adopt those things, then we have to change the mindset. Because mindset really decides that what your action will be. For example, there are many thoughts which keep on generating in our mind. Many thoughts keep on coming in our mind. But they are not converted into action. Why? Because our mindset is not like that. So we just, okay, thought has come, okay, go on. So if you have a proper mindset, proper action will be there. That is why it is very essential that teachers change their mindset. First understand what is expected of them. Then adopt those procedures and implement. And that will make this policy a successful one. Otherwise not. So in this policy there is a lot of choice is given to the students. Because there is hardly any choice. We are implementing choice-based training system. But all aspects are not implemented. Means credit transfer is not that much. Electives, kind of electives we are offering. Now law is a very independent thing, but in law also there could be different say departments or different sections. Now electives at different levels, means at department level, school level and faculty level. Like in physics, we have departmental level, means we have linear physics, we have biophysics, we have theoretical physics, we have fundamental physics. At school level, we can, a physics student can adopt or say offer subjects in instrumentation, in electronics. If you go beyond that, then he can offer subjects on chemistry, biology, or some other disciplines also. And those kind of electives which we have to prepare. So there will be a role for the teachers. Because suppose a physics student wants to take a course in law. Now what kind of course will offer? It will be different than the course which you are offering to the law student. Because if you offer the same course to physics student, it is of no use to you. Or a biology student or any other student. So you will have to think that suppose somebody wants to learn about law or get acquainted with the law, what kind of course we have to design which will introduce that student to the law. And that is our responsibility. Because when we are talking about credit transfer, it will be both ways. Maybe your law student wants to take a course in biotechnology. So biotechnology people will have to design a course which will be suitable for a law student, not a course which is suitable for biotechnology. So that is a great challenge for the teachers. And that is how this multidisciplinary education will come into existence. Now all colleges will be autonomous. That is what is proposed. Because this affiliating system is putting a lot of load on the university. And in new structure, there are three kinds of institutions which are being created. One is a research university, another is a teaching university, and third is college. So research university will be mainly doing research but partly teaching. Teaching university will be doing mainly teaching but partly research. And then colleges. And all these colleges are supposed to be autonomous. There will be no college offering a single course or a single faculty. It has to be a multidisciplinary institution. So I don't know what will happen to law college. Either law college has to merge into other colleges or start other disciplines. So that is the challenge. There will be no unitary university like law university, health university, or technical university. They will have to convert themselves into multidisciplinary institutions. That is what is expected, including IIM, IITs and all. So that is another thing which has been suggested. So restructuring of the present system, that is proposed in this policy. We have to restructure the present system and formulate it. And they expect that each college will have at least 3,000 students, minimum. No college with 100 students, 200 students, 400 students will be. Because then it will not be possible to offer a multidisciplinary environment to the students. That is the problem. Holistic development of the student is expected. Now what is holistic development? We can understand in many ways, but one way is to understand how our brain works. Now you know that our brain has two hemispheres, left hemisphere, right hemisphere. Each one has its own characteristics. That left hemisphere is more mathematical, more methodical, more logical, remembers the things like that. Right hemisphere is more emotional, more comprehensive, more creative. So it doesn't follow any systematic rules or something like that. Now present education is focusing only on left hemisphere. Because kind of education we offer to the student, develop the left hemisphere. Now what this policy says that no, we have to develop the right hemisphere also. And that's why we have to expose students to such kind of things so that we have invention, innovation, entrepreneurship, creativity, all those things are to be present. And that is why we have to then personality development. मराठीमध्ये सर्वांगीण विकास आपण असं म्हणतो, विद्यार्थ्याचा सर्वांगीण विकास करायचा असतो, नॉट वन वे. So this is a very important point in this policy, that holistic development is to be encouraged. And that is why we have offered many facilities to the students, that multiple entry, multiple exit. A student offers to leave the course after 1 year has to provide a training of at least of 2 months so that he is eligible to get a job outside. And it is suggested that whatever industries, whatever opportunities are there around you, so students should get trained in those areas. That is what it is. If he completes 2 years and 2 courses, diploma, 3 years, 3 courses, then there is a 4-year degree also, but that is not for you because already you are set up 5-year degree. But for other, say, disciplines, there is a research degree, it is called, so that the student can directly enroll for research and do 1-year course like MS is there for industry. So that is freedom given to the teachers. Then academic bank of credit, that is another aspect which is there. So that student can keep on accumulating the credits, and then when he gets the required number of credits, he will get the degree. So that freedom is given, provided to the student. So that is also very important. Then we can introduce dual courses, dual degrees. Students who say get an opportunity to take a course in other institution, other country also, or spend 1 year here, 1 year here, like that, or part of the courses over here, part of the courses in foreign university, either online or offline. Pune University has already started this course. With Melbourne University, we have an arrangement so that students are doing 2 years over here and 2 years over there. So that those kind of things are also being suggested over here. Then clusters, forming clusters of several colleges, like modern Indian society has many colleges. So you can share the resources. Suppose a drawing teacher is not available in one college, it can be shared with the other college. So sharing all kinds of laboratories, auditorium, classrooms, any kind of resources which are required for education can be shared. And that is a cluster, so you can form a cluster. And that is also, that idea is also floated in this. So sharing of the resources is very important. As far as governance is concerned, it is suggested that it should be light but tight. Right now we have many complicated rules of governance, but nothing happens. No action is taken. And that is why we have colleges, that they are not functioning well at all. Being a Vice-Chancellor, I know that. We have closed down 50 colleges. And they are non-existent actually. No principal, no infrastructure, nothing. No students also, but college is there. If students are not there, okay, fine. If students are there, then it is disaster. So those kind of things are there. So this particular policy suggests that we should have simple rules of governance, but they should be implemented very effectively. Like each institution can set their own benchmarks and publish it on the website. So what committee will do? Committee will only see that whether they are followed or not. Committee will not give any benchmarks or any rules or anything to follow. That institute itself has to decide that where it has to go, what standards they are following, and accordingly you will be graded. So that is another very important thing which we have. Research is a very big component in our college education or college environment. So this particular policy says that we have to strengthen that component. Now how do we do that? You need money, you need financial assistance. Right now, of course, there are agencies which provide financial assistance, but the problem is that these agencies have definite areas to propagate. So those restrictions are there. It's like if you go to DST, they will not support you, law research. You will have to go only CSIR is not ICSSR. That is the only agency I can see that we can support you. So this is not enough. Second thing is that these agencies have decided their own areas and topics. So beyond that they don't want. If you go with a local problem, you may not get support, financial support. So in this particular policy, National Research Foundation has been proposed. And this will be common to all. Any teachers can approach to that agency with problems which are local or global or national, whatever it is. If there is a merit, then you will get the funding. And kind of resources or kind of funding which is available with this agency is very huge, 76,000 crores. That is proposed. I don't know how much is related, but that is been proposed. So the idea is to strengthen the research at college level. Another very important aspect is value education. So what value do we inculcate? What value do we actually want students to acquire, or they should have a set of values which they follow in their life. Now value education is very difficult because it cannot come by preaching. So unless preacher observes at least few values, there will be no effect on the learner. Otherwise, now also education is there. You know what is the effect? Because that is done as a ritual. Value actually value should be in the atmosphere. They should be followed by the institution, they should be followed by administration, they should be followed by teachers. Then only students will follow the value. And those will be inculcated. And that is the biggest, toughest I can say, you can say task given by this particular. But they propose that all kinds of education, professional, non-professional education, should give emphasis on values. What kind of values? The values should be common to all human beings, not to particular sect or a group or a region. No, they should be universal in nature. Okay. So that is another problem we will have to look into, at what set of values we actually take up. The new values are also coming, you know that sustainable development is a value now. Because if we want to save our earth, then sustainable development is the only way to do that. So that can be taken as a value. It is impartial and it is, you can say, secular, and it is common to all mankind. So this is another way. So multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary education. Now why it is required? Because these divisions of subjects are made by men. It is a man-made division. Nature doesn't think in terms of physics, chemistry, biology. No. So we have to take that approach to the students. Otherwise what happens that a biology teacher talking about current, he thinks current is different in biology. Current is different in physics. Current is different in chemistry. That is not the case. Current is same. It may be ionic current, it may be electronic current, but the basic laws which govern that are same. So this kind of, vision we have to provide to the students. So law is not only for politics or not only for theft. Law is for every aspect of our life. And that vision we have to give to the students. That how law is effective in every walk of our life. And that will be important. CBCS we have defined online teaching, use of technology is another point. Now use of technology has two distinct features. One is use of technology in education, all aspects of education, including administration, evaluation, teaching, learning, all kinds of things. But other aspects which they have stressed is that we have to provide students with the courses in the areas which are upcoming or future trends like artificial intelligence or we can say mixed reality. Now this is also concerned with the law because people will be using this kind of technique. So when in court such kind of case comes, you should know what is mixed reality, what is artificial intelligence, then what is quantum computing, what is data mining, what is data analysis, what is nanotechnology, what is nanobiotechnology, so many things are there. And it is envisaged that we design courses on this subject and provide it to the students. So that is also another aspect of it. Student mobility is ensured in that case. So student can move from one institute to other institute, laterally, vertically, both. So that really is given. And as I said that we have to train our students to start their own business, entrepreneurship, law firms, instead of only going and working in a court as a notary or many other things. So they should have their firms, law firms, so that they are able to employ other people to that. So that kind of education is and for that you need different kinds of collaboration. You will have to collaborate with many institutes outside, including industry or wherever there is an application of law. The areas where there is the application of law, you will have to collaborate with the institutions which are providing that. And that is the biggest thing which we have to go out of our way. We cannot work in isolation. So only this institute, this college, only these rooms, these people, that much is not enough. You will have to collaborate with other people, form strong bonds, then you make them functional. There should not be only on paper. So we have to make functional collaboration. That is what it is. So these are the main features of this particular policy. Now in professional education also there are many changes which have been suggested. And the main aspect they are talking about is the quality of education. And it is observed that in many professional courses we don't observe this, including medicine, engineering, and many others. So you have to introspect law also, and whether the quality of education you are providing to the student is up to the mark. And if it is not, then we have to find out the ways to enhance the quality. Because we are talking about internationalization of higher education. So internationalization means what is expected? It is expected that the students from other countries should come and join your institution. Your education standards should be so high that they should have global standing. And for that, you will have to enhance the quality of education. That is one aspect of it. Second aspect of it, that you should have an ability to open your centers in foreign countries. That is another aspect of internationalization of higher education. And that is also expected of you. So in nutshell, there are many things which have been suggested. Many of them are academic, others are administrative, financial, and of course with all stakeholders will have to come together. It is not concerned only with teachers, but it is concerned with students also. Because what is expected? It is expected that student participates in learning. And teacher works as a facilitator. Because we are very keen on teaching, but then we neglect the learning. So this policy says that we have to concentrate on learning. It is more important what that student learns than what you teach. So we have to come out of that mentality. Because we have been trained like that. We have been taught like that. So teaching is very important, that's what we say. So they say no, learning is more important. And for that, we have to encourage students to participate in teaching learning process. Unless that happens, it will not be possible to implement this policy. Because teacher alone cannot do all these things. But for that we have to change the mentality of parents. Because present system, what is there? How many marks the student gets? And degree. These are the only two important. What he learns, what capabilities that student acquires is not important. We have to change this. And that will be changed because the pattern of evaluation will change, the pattern of getting the opportunity will change, and that's why students and parents will have to change their mentality. And the last component is the government. Because government has to take certain steps, proactive steps, so that this implementation will be successful. Otherwise, there will be disparity among the institutions itself. Now, institutions in Pune are very fortunate because you get good number of students. They are able to pay the fees also, so there may not be much problem. But if you go to rural areas, then survival of these colleges will be a big problem. And their government has to come in and help those institutions. These are the other problems. Second problem, what people say that this actually implementation of national education policy should not make a social divide. That education offered at all levels to all students should be of the equal standard. So that care we have to take. Otherwise some will go out and some will lack it. That should not happen. So these are also concerns raised by me. So we have to take necessary care so that the government has to take care. So in nutshell, this is a good policy. But unless it is implemented properly, there is no. Another danger is that if we disrupt the present system and if we don't build a new one, we will know it. And that is one. Or teachers, if implement this policy with the old methods, then that will be different. So that should also not happen. So these are the challenges before us, but I am sure that teachers will definitely take up the challenge and do their best. So with this I thank Principal Madam and other coordinator and all others for inviting me for inauguration and giving me opportunity.